Hi, welcome to the Shelly Studio. Today I'm working on my 100-day project. This one is day 24, almost a quarter of the way through. Only, 76 more to do? Actually, there's 4 in this one, so I'll be up to 27 by the end of this video. So a quarter of the way through. This particular image was inspired by a photo I took in Anacortes, Washington. I think I was taking a picture of this interesting tree, and so it had a lot of hills and some rocks in the background, so that is what I'm going for. And interesting enough, Anacortes is on Whidbey Island, and hence it's an island surrounded by water. But there's no water in this picture. Yeah, I think the tree was on the top of a hill, so I was aiming upward and when I took the picture. Anyway, not that you need to know that. It's just something to talk about, right? So I have this great scrap paper that looks like peeling paint on an old board fence that I'm using as the base of the ground, and then I'm covering it up. Of course I am, with a little bit of craft packing paper and a map, a little bit of map is going on there. And then I've got these dark pieces, brown pieces of paper that represent the rocks. This one's not too complicated. It looks like a lot of layers, but it wasn't too much. So how's everyone doing? I hope you're having a fantastic day. And is anyone working on the 100-day project? How are you doing? You keeping up? Getting caught up? Doing it on your own time? Hey, whatever time it is, right? Just as long as you get creative, I think. I think art is good therapy. Brings up your mood. Like, I've been doing these little collages, and every time I sit down, I'm like, how am I going to do this? I'm like, I don't know. It just turns out. It looks, I don't know if it's because I have all these wonderful bits of paper that I can use, but it just turns out. Compositionally, it's probably not the best. If somebody analyzed this, they'd be like, your composition needs a little work. But I think they're fun. And for the most part, I think they look pretty good. Even ones that I get a little over crazy on. So now I'm putting in the tree. I added little chunks of green. And I tried using the China marker, but it wasn't working for me. So I'm just going in with a pen. Adding some branches, connecting all that greenery together, and putting a long trunk. And of course I put some Stabilo, I think I was trying to make the ink run on there, but it wasn't really running. I wanted a little bit of shading on the tree, so it looked better. I don't know how else to put that. And of course, a little bit of shading everywhere with the Stabilo, as the usual. If you've been watching my series, I do have a playlist, so if you look at my playlist, you'll find 100-Day Project, and it will be under there. If you want to see the other videos that I've created, and there's that one. Now the next one, day 25, this one is a view of the Murdoch Canal, or a view from, I don't know where the Murdoch Canal is, but I am standing, I was on a 5K. This is in American Fork area, and the area, there was a canal there somewhere. But this is a view of the mountains from the trail where I was. Anyway, I decided to use my little white and gray paper. Make a cloudy sky. I'm going to put some blue and purple mountains in the background. Yeah, that's a lot of blue considering I covered up with a lot of purple. And this one has lots of little layers. I try to do like the sky, the mountains, and the grass, and then whatever's in front of that in the foreground. And I end up putting lots of little bits on this one. So now I'm putting my purple mountain in there. And that piece of paper was a leaf shape. I think I did something with a whole bunch of painty papers with that shape. Can't remember. It was a long time ago, but that piece of paper's been hanging around for a while. You probably don't need to see me tear all of these bits, but I think some of them I show all of the bits, some of them I don't. This one had a lot of little bits. Because I wanted green. There's like, from the mountains, there's always, you can always see the green trees and bushes and stuff. Mostly trees way back that far. And then, I guess this white strip represents the canal. And then there's a few bushes up along it, so I had to tear off even more little bits. Put right there, and then I have a big field of green. And yes, little teeny bits of paper. If you haven't been watching, these are 4x4 pieces of mixed media paper. So the actual artwork is about 3 inches by 3 inches. So there's not a lot of space there to get a lot of detail. Especially when all the detail is little teeny pieces of paper. So here's the field. It does have kind of a water look to it, but it was grass. It's grass. Or it's farmland. It could be wheat or something. I don't know, whatever was growing there. And then in the foreground, there's actually a raised path. And that's what I was trying to create. I think I end up making it look like a little dirt hill. And then a path in front of it. I decided to use some of this scrapbook paper that looks like sheet music as the path. And I like this one. I think this one's pretty good. Now if you watch all 4, you'll have to tell me which one's your favorite. There's kind of a color scheme going. I don't know if I use the same papers all in a row or what. I have a little box that all my scraps are going back into that I just keep pulling out to use the next day. So I don't feel like they're going away though. Like I'm using them all up. Except for the green. That's why this is sort of a tealy green color. That one's harder. That color's harder to come by. Alright, so again with my Stabilo, creating shadows on the mountain so it looks more like a mountain. And then just a little bit of shading in the middle and foreground. And as always, that'll lighten up. You'll hardly even notice it. we go. Murdoch Canal view. Day 25. All right. Well, this next one is actually Columbia, South Carolina, Fort Jackson to be specific. This was a picture I took at a graduation ceremony at Fort Jackson. My nephew went through boot camp, and my sister and I went and saw his graduation. So I was trying to figure out how I was going to represent it, and I decided it was a gray day, like there was no real blue in the picture. So I decided I would use my Tim Holtz numbers that have been sitting here forever, and that was going to be my sky. And then I just picked a few different colors for the trees. They had huge trees in the background, and this first one is kind of a blackish color, but it's mamagami paper, so it was really smushy and hard to glue. It wanted to wad up into a ball on me. And then I used some blue and a little bit of dark turquoise as my trees. Now they have like this smoke effect on the field, and then the troops come out from the smoke. So I wasn't sure how I was going to represent the smoke, so I just used some tan paper. Now I tore it so it's not fluffy and round like you might think a cloud would be, but that's what that's supposed to look like. That's supposed to look like the smoke they are coming out of. Now to represent the soldiers, I used some more Tim Holtz tissue with smaller numbers, and these are the soldiers coming out of the smoke. Do you see it? Can you visualize it? And of course it was an immaculate green field, and there was a sidewalk there, so I put the line in for the sidewalk because I felt like it needed something in the foreground anyway. So for this one, I do a little bit of shading in the trees and a little bit, I think I do a little bit underneath the smoke just to have that be a ground, just like that. I do the sidewalk, but I must do that in a minute. Yeah, this one's fairly quick and simple, I think. But is that what it looks like? Do you think soldier when you see that? Maybe not. Maybe it said F troop or something and not just have the F. I think that was interesting. Anyway, that one is day 26. Now, day 27, this one has a lot of bits. a lot of bits. So, I'm trying to remember where I was. I know I did a cruise, the Canada-New England cruise, in the fall to see different places, and so I'm not exactly sure where I was on this particular picture, but I just put New England. I put a covered bridge in New England because we went and we did a private tour, and he drove us out to this covered bridge. We stopped, we saw it, took pictures, and then we went to a beach that was like all pebbles. I would have to really dig out some journals to figure out where I was. This trip would have been, gosh, I don't even know how many years ago. Quite a while ago. So they really didn't have mountains there. So these are a couple of hills covered in trees. And then lots and lots of trees in lots of varieties of green. So again, I'm using all my little scraps of green to represent all of that. And that crazy crooked piece of paper, who knew that it would ever get used? And I saved it. I don't know why. I saved it. So I decided the ground would be brownish. And of course, we've got the river there that the covered bridge is going to go over. Trying to get that paper lined up. I don't want it to go too high and cover up all the little foliage that I just glued on there. Right? And then after I put that, the brown kind of packing material, I have this rice paper that's stained, and I put that on as another layer to try and create some depth, I guess. They were kind of plain papers, more of a solid color, not as much like my textured papers that have all the pattern on it. So I was trying to do something to make it more interesting. Now I'm putting on some more of the green to bring it forward a bit. I actually do like the layers of green. I do put a building kind of in the background, and I have the angle poorly, I think. I was trying to go by what I was seeing in my picture, but, and I don't have this picture digital. It's like in an old photo album. But that one's just quite kind of the wrong angle. Decided that building was too tall, so I cut it down, make it shorter. It looks straight there. I think it's after I put some bushes around it. Maybe it shifted on me. I don't know. It looks crooked in the end. And there's that's the covered bridge right there. And you know, the shading with the Stabilo makes all the difference. Just you wait. You'll see. It makes it actually look like a covered bridge. Right now it just looks like a funky block of scrapbook paper. Or painty paper. It's half and half. So yeah, just adding a little bit more greenery. Let it dry for a little bit. I did add some shading over there on the right hand side, because there was, in the picture there's a tree off to the right, and it's casting shadow on the ground. I thought that helped with the foreground to make it more interesting, and then did all the shading and a little bit of highlighting. And I must have lost footage somewhere of me actually creating the shading. But there's that one. You'll have to let me know which one's your favorite. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed these videos. If you did, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and have an awesome day.